Every FRC team has their first year, one important to every single one of them in a formative sense as well as for some a performance sense. Well, some teams will start off with great fanfare and ride that all the way through their history. Some others will start at the basics and build on top of that to become a great team afterwards as well. We know that FRC recognizes these teams, these rookie teams that have a great foundation for success with the Rookie All-Star Award, which is first given out at the 1994 first robotics competition, which would then be renamed to the National Championship, as we know. One nice thing to look at these is how well are these teams doing now? Do they exist now from all those years ago, and how have they been since? Especially when you try and take the evaluation criteria of a single year of robotics, it's always interesting to see what did they see in them, and were they able to take what they had and build off of it, which is always great to see. One of my things I like to do in FRC is take a team who I worked with a few years ago and say, hey, how are they doing today? It was great to see them then, but how are they doing now? So that's always a fun thing to do for myself anyway. So that's what we'll be doing in this new series I'm thinking of making. That being going back to each year that they've given out a Rookie All-Star Award, going through, looking at the teams, looking at their history to see how well they've done in their history. One thing I do want to note is that this isn't a critique of any of these teams. I have a lot of respect for every single one. It's not easy for a rookie team to win the Rookie All-Star Award, especially when the criteria are off of a single year of what they were able to do. Unfortunately, many teams, especially in the early era with this first one in 1994, either no longer exist or ended pretty early given the time, as there were several teams that either lacked support or funding that would cause them to either miss a year in some cases or just end altogether, which is very unfortunate. However, it's a necessary thing to think of when we look back several years. When we see a team retired today, we'll know them very well. In many cases, there'll be a lot of outcry and support for them in their last year, as in one team that we are going to see a few times in this video. However, I do want to look at the history of the teams, so we can kind of see what did we see in them their first year and how were they able to do as a sort of, hey, how did this team do in the end? So that's why I'm going to start off this year with the 1994 First Robotics Competition Rookie All-Star awardees. This, of course, started out with the two teams being 98 and 80. 98 is that first thing I mentioned about a team being unable to continue, as going into the 1994 championship, Team 98 was a team who was able to win the Rookie All-Star Award. However, they would cease to exist after that year. Very unfortunate. However, with what happened, they were able to show quite a lot in their first year to win the Rookie All-Star Award. Now for the Robo Colts Team 80, this one did exist for quite a while, all the way through to 2005. Right after, they would come in strong at the 1995 championship, after regional as well, with them becoming both a Hall of Fame Chairman's Award finalist. As we all know, the Tough Tex 151 would win the Hall of Fame in 1995. However, with them becoming a finalist, especially in their second year, that's an impressive achievement for any team, of course, to do that. And they would also win the Best Play of the Day for robot performance. So they would both be honored for their more judges category and robotics category being a great year for them, especially for the second year of a Rookie All-Star Award team. One thing also to note with these earlier years is a lack of individual match data or competition statistics, especially with being the earlier years of FRC. So I have not been able to find, and I don't believe there's much data on their individual match-to-match data between 1996 and 1999. I wasn't able to find anything specific. However, they did routinely go to the championship in a few regional events. But however, 2000 would be when they'd make another splash and a sort of resurgence. At the 2000 championship, they would become the number one seed. They would pick two future Hall of Fame teams, those being Wild Sting and Buzz Robotics, making up a very powerful number one alliance in Cooperation First. They would go up against, in the octofinals, they'd win a best of three. Then they'd go into the quarterfinals where they would be upset by an alliance of the 1992 champion Gale Force, then their partners the Gearheads and Chaos. They would get out in the quarterfinals against that alliance, who would end up going into the finals. However, being a number one seed at the national championship is extraordinary, as well as captaining a very powerful number one alliance. Much like I mentioned before, the latter happened in this case where there was no 2001. However, they would come back strong in 2002. In this competition, they would team up with teams Kikimana and Eagle Robotics as a powerful number 2 alliance. to go up against the Bionic Bulldogs, the Gila Monsters, and of course the Beach Bots in the finals of this competition, becoming regional finalists. And with their alliance, they were pretty powerful. However, with going up against both the Gila Monsters and the Beach Bots, they put up a great fight. On 2003, Stag Attack, they would team up with Desert Storm as well as Midnight Mechanics, part of the number 6 alliance, to go up in the quarterfinals against the High Rollers, the Circuit Breakers, and Tigertrons to unfortunately get out in the quarterfinals of that competition. As for 2004, they would team up with the Cobra Commanders and Circuit Commanders to go up against the Sentinels, of course the Beach Bots again, and the Cyber Penguins in the finals of this regional, getting out in the finals, of course, to that powerful alliance. One fitting thing about this one, or I guess more of a coincidence, is that the Sportsmanship Award for this regional was split up into 3 teams, those being the Cobra Commanders, Robocolt, and the Circuit Commanders, all 3 of that finalist alliance winning the Sportsmanship Award. Unfortunately for them, 2005 would mark their swan song year, where they'll go to 2 regionals, and then after that would cease to exist as an FRC team. Throughout their history, there's some great stuff in there. They were the number 1 seed at a national championship. They captained a very powerful alliance going into the quarterfinals of course, the championship for FRC. They had several years where they had powerful alliances in regionals. They were a 2-time regional finalist, only being stopped by the Beach Bots both times. This is a team that had some great history in what they had, and it would have been nice to have, if they had been able to survive until today, especially with Team 98 as well. This is a great team. Looking at their history, they accomplished some great things, and it was great to look at, to see, hey, who was that one team number from the Rookie All-Star Award in 1994? How did they end up doing? So I think for that team, they were able to do some great things. If you like this video, please let me know, and I'd be more than happy to start with 1995. That video is going to be a little longer since they gave out 4 awards instead of 2. However, I'd be happy to cover that. Thank you for all for watching. This has been the FRC Historian.